Okay guys, today we're supposed to be learning about day 9. We're going to introduce matrices. So, looking at matrices, there's some vocab we need to know. A matrix is an array of rows and columns of numbers, variables, and objects. Elements, elements are each individual thing inside the matrix. Dimensions, it is the number of rows by the number of columns. Mr. Aguilar, way back when I first learned about matrices, told me to think Roman Catholic. You go by the number of rows first, number of columns. Rows go side to side, columns go up and down. A square matrix is when the number of rows equals the number of columns. Equal matrices are when every single element in the exact same spot is identical to every single element in the exact same spot of another matrix. An identity matrix we're going to learn about and really try to use tomorrow, and that's a matrix with ones on the main diagonal and zeros everywhere else. So, guidelines, adding and subtracting. You add and subtract spot by spot. When you look at a matrix, it's going to have a square brace all the way through. So if we want to add or subtract two matrices, what we need to know is that we're going to have something here and something here. That spot gets added together. We're going to have something here and something here. Those two spots get added together. Something here and here. Those two spots get added together. Same thing. Here and here. Those two get added together. Here and here. Those two added together. And last but not least, there and there. Those two get added together. Multiplying is a little differently. I'm going to do one example today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do one or two more in class before we start the new lesson, because multiplying I think we're going to need to talk through it a little bit face to face. But I'm just going to give you an example today to try to see if you can look at it and just try to process what's going on. So let's find the values of x and y given the fact that matrix A has to equal matrix B. Well, for the two matrices to be equal, what's in this spot has to be what's in that spot. So that right away tells us that x has to equal 2. Also, for them to be equal, what's in this spot has to be that spot. Ooh, 5 and 5, we're happy. What's in this spot has to be that spot. 1 and 1, we're still happy. What's in this spot has to be that spot. Again, we're happy because y equals 8. Next example, find A plus B. Same thing. This matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix. This matrix also has 2 rows and 2 columns, so it's also a 2 by 2 matrix. Matrices must be the same size. Why is same size important? Well, think about what I talked about here. This spot has to go with that spot. This spot has to go with that spot. If they're not the same size, we can't add or subtract spot by spot together. So that's something to keep track of. So looking at our addition, we're going to go spot 1 with spot 1. So this spot plus that spot. 3 plus 2 is 5. Next, 4 and 8. Spot by spot. 4 and 8 make 12. Next spot we're going to look at, -1 and 4. -1 plus 4 is 3. Last but not least, our last spot we have to look at, 7 and 0. 7 plus 0 make 7. So A plus B is this matrix 5, 12, 3, 7. Let's try A minus B. Same thing again. You go spot by spot. So we're doing A minus B. 2 minus 3, -1. 6 minus -4, 10. 5 minus 7, -2. 8 minus -3, 11. 4 minus -1, 5. -3 minus 10, -13. -2 minus -4, 2. 8 minus 2, 6. 4 minus 6, -2. So there's our A minus B matrix. Again, A and B both have 3 rows and 3 columns. So they're both a 3 by 3 matrix. And again, our answer is a 3 by 3 matrix also. Okay, let's find 3A minus 2B. When we are talking about 3A, that means we want to take A and multiply every single thing by 3. So 3A is really going to be 3, 12, -9, 15. Same thing is going to happen when we look at 2b. We want to take 2 and multiply everything in b by 2. So we're going to have -2, 6, 10, and 12. Now we're asked to do 3a minus 2b, so we can do that. 3 minus -2 is 5, 12 minus 6 is 6, -9 minus 10 is -19, 15 minus 12 is 3. So there is our answer. Okay, a times b. Here's the multiplication. What happens when we multiply is you first have to check dimensions. And I'm going to write these nice and big. I'm going to put in some cloners. I'm going to get this set up so I can really show you what's going on. So this matrix is 3, 2, 5, 7. Our other matrix is 0, 4, 6, 1. I did my color schemes this way for a reason. Now, first thing we have to check are the dimensions. This guy is a 2 by 2. This guy is a 2 by 2. The only way you can multiply two matrices is if the middle number is exactly the same. It is. And I can tell you right now, because the middle number is the same, I can kind of go bye-bye to there, and my answer is going to also be a 2 by 2 matrix. So I want to make that right now. Our answer is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So there's going to be row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2. That is going to help us also, folks. Okay. Here I'm in the row 1, column 1 spot. If I look in matrix A, which is right here, here's matrix B, so the two are multiplying together. Matrix A is going to be used for my rows, and matrix B is going to be used for my columns. When I'm getting my answer, matrix A is for the rows, matrix B is for the columns. Let's look at why that is. I kept the row size from matrix A, and I kept the column size from matrix B. So now I'm looking at spots. If I'm looking at the rows in my new matrix, I want to think of A. If I'm looking at the columns in my new matrix, I want to think of B. So here I want row 1, column 1. So row 1, column 1. That's going to be my red-green combination. That's what I want to think of for this first spot right here. So looking at that, I'm going to take my red times I'm going to take my green from matrix A. It's right here. I'm going to take these two values, 3 and 2. One second, let me turn on this cloner so I can really help you guys group it all and infinite clone this guy. My 3, 2 is going to come over here and visit the reds. And I'm going to turn him upside down when he goes to visit. Everybody with me so far? So what happened is I just had my 3 go multiply the 0 plus my 2 go multiply the 4. Well, 3 times 0 plus 2 times 4 gives me an answer of 8. So that's going to be my first spot. Okay, let's look at row 1, column 2 in our answer. Row 1 is row 1 of A, which is still green. Column 2 of B is my purple. So I'm going to look at my green and my purple. So once again, I'm going to take this green right here. I'm going to go over to my purple. I'm going to stack it upright. And I'm going to multiply that now too. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have in this new spot 3 times 6 plus 2 times 1. So that's going to now give me an answer. Well, 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 times 1 is 20. So that spot's going to be 20. Okay, now we're down to the bottom. We want to take row 2, column 1. Row 2 is this beautiful blue row down here in column A. So remember, my row comes from A. So that's the guy I want to look at next. I'm going to group these guys together and get them cloned so we can see how they're going to move. It's now this blue guy's turn when I'm looking at row 2, column 1. This blue guy is going to go to the red just like the green went to the red. Here the green went to the red. He's been used up. And now that he's been used up, I'm just going to make him transparent so we aren't really bothered by him anymore. Oh, that did not work. We learn new things every day. Anyway, we're just going to send him off to La La Land. This is now Blue's turn to go. Green has already gone to visit everything, so these greens are going to go off to La La Land. It's now Blue's turn. So Blue row 2 of A is going to go visit Red column 1 of B. So when that happens, we're going to turn upside down again and we're going to multiply. And we're going to have 5 times 0 plus 7 times 4. Well, 5 times 0 plus 7 times 4 is 28. Now, the last thing we have to worry about is row 2, our blue row, visiting column 2, our purple column. So again, we're going to take our row 2, and he's going to come over to B and visit our next column. We're going to turn him upside down to multiply him. And what we're going to see here is we are going to have 5 times 6 plus 7 times 1. Well, if we do 5 times 6 plus 7 times 1, we're going to get 37. So this is our answer matrix. 8, 20, 28, 37. That is our answer matrix. What do you think? Look at it. See if you get what's going on. We're going to do another multiply example right now, and then we'll save some for tomorrow when I see you guys, okay? So let's try another one. We're going to do A times B. First, let's do a dimension check. A is 2 times 2. B has 2 rows times 3 columns. Is the number of columns in A equal to the number of rows in B? Yes. So that goes bye-bye. So we know our answer is going to be a 2 by 3 matrix. So we can make that right now. We're going to have row 1, row 2, and we're going to need 3 columns. Column 1, column 2, and column 3. Remember, our rows come from the first matrix, and our columns come from the second matrix. So I'm going to go ahead and color code these guys. This is going to be my red. This is going to be my green. And then in crayon, this is going to be my green crayon. This is going to be my blue crayon. This is going to be my purple one. Okay? So we have everything color coded. So now, if I'm going in this spot, I want row 1 from A, so that's going to be my red marker, times column 1 from B, that's going to be my green crayon. So again, think of it. I'm going to take this row 2, 3 from A, and he's going to go visit and fall on top of column 1 in B. So I need to visualize the 2 going to the 2 and the 3 going to the 6. So I'm going to have 2 times 2 plus 3 times 6. 18 and 4 is 22. Next, I'm going to go row 1, column 2. So row 1 is going to visit column 2, which means the 2 is going to go to the 4 and the 3 is going to go to the 8. So we're going to have 2 times 4 plus 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 8 is 32, I think, hopefully. Next, we want row 1, column 3. So we're going to take row 1, and he's going to go visit column 3. So the 2 is going to go to the -1, the 3 is going to go to the 0. So we're going to have 2 times -1 plus 3 times 0, and that's going to get us -2. Now we're on to the bottom. So now we have row 2, column 1. So row 2's turn to go visit column 1. So the 5 goes to the 2, the 6 goes to the 6. We're going to have 5 times 2 plus 6 times 6, or 46. Next, row 2 goes to column 2. So 5 times 4, 6 times 8. 5 times 4 plus 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 20 is 68.